I swear, Pete.
The point is the combine. For me, you know I'm a big combine guy. I've always been a big combine guy, and for me, it's all about the spectacle, which is why I have an issue with your boy Sam Darnold not throwing at the combine, considering all the other top quarterbacks are throwing, including his rival Josh Rosen.
And they're probably friends. But one thing I learned is when everybody's doing one thing, they're probably stupid and you should be doing the opposite. I'm just saying.
That's not a bad point.
And
But
why would you throw to receivers you don't know and you already know his mechanics are kind of
to prove that you're a gamer, which everyone says he is a gamer.
Okay,
and
so
he
what if he
rises
tears
above the competition?
what if he tears his pectoral on a throw? Or, I don't know, cracks a big toe planting his foot? Or tears a hamstring running a 40? Is it really worth it? Let's talk Billy Price, one of the greatest offensive linemen in Ohio State history, center, number one center for Ohio State, number one center in this draft, tears his pectoral bench pressing at the combine. Didn't get to run a 40. Nobody's going to know how fast he actually is. I mean,
he's probably going to end up being a steal for the Rams.
He could have been a first-round pick.
Now the Rams are going to take him in the third.
He tore his pec, just like Fabian Monroe tore his pec.
Pissed.
Fabian Monroe tore his pec at the combine last year. Had an excellent
Sidney
combine.
Jones?
He
got hurt at his pro day.
Yeah, he ruptures Achilles in his pro day, last play. But it's like, not really. Like, it's a business. The combine is a business decision. Like Warren Sapp once said, you go to the combine to lose money or make money. And Deion Sanders also said all the slow guys are the ones who are nervous in the blocks. And it's true. It's kind of funny. When they know they're going to run a slow time, you're like, shit. Everyone's watching me. This dude just ran a 4.4. I can't break a 4.7.
And I know we talked about this a lot last week, or a little bit last week. But one guy I really kind of have my eyes on, especially after reading a really good story on NFL.com about him, Bradley Chubb. He was basically a phenom coming out of high school, a phenom his freshman year. He posted insanely godly athletic numbers.
I think he had numbers that rivaled Herschel Walker coming out of high school.
Yeah, they were better than
Dory like
Jackson, Deshaun Watson, Solomon Thomas.
Spark ratings.
Yeah. And, of course, he tore his ACL, 2 years ago, a year ago? Something
About
like
2
that.
years ago.
And honestly, man, if you watch him, he just doesn't have that same game-changing breakaway speed.
Which is sad.
So for me, if he's running a 4.5, he's got to hit a 4.5, 4.6 if he wants to be in that 2 to 3 round range. Otherwise, he's probably gonna fall to the 6 or 7 and just get drafted on name alone.
He's gonna be Musa Smith. He's going to be Musa Smith, the running back who played at Georgia and went to the Baltimore Ravens and destroyed his knee and never played football again. Damn, you don't be Musa Smith. Be T.J. Duckett at least. I mean, you won't run a fast. I mean, if Chubb runs a 4.45, how does that change things?
If he runs a 4.45,
that's what Duckett ran allegedly, I think.
Man, I think there's still so much running back talent that you still got to be skeptical.
Because everybody was like, oh, Ronald Jones, the USC running back, came in small. I'm like, he was 5'11", 203, and he probably only slimmed down.
But that doesn't worry me because he's a shifty guy. Like, he's elusive. Like, that's what he does.
He's literally, like,
if he's big and heavy, if he's big and heavy, like, he's not going to be elusive. Like,
yeah, but, like, they're trashing running backs, and it's like, really, dude? Some of these running backs have to lose the weight because they want to be faster so they can show their natural speed, and some of them have to gain weight.
Well, like, the other thing is when you're taking punishment like that, you gain mass during the year. You're eating a lot because you're taking a punishment. But once you're out of season, you're trying to tone your body up a little bit more, so you're eating less.
Yeah,
like,
you cycle on and off. You cycle the speed and agility and all that, and then you bulk up when you need to. I think a lot of these, like, the whole adage, oh, running backs are too small. It's like, shut up. They're like, oh, his hands are small. I'm like, bro, he didn't fumble a lot. He was a great...
hands do matter, though. I mean, hands do matter.
To an extent.
They do matter, but they're not an end-all, be-all.
All I know is he had more rushing yards in USC history than Reggie Bush, I think Marcus Allen. He had more rushing yards than OJ, definitely. Like, he's like what, third all time in USC history running the ball. Come on.
Okay,
That means something.
Another running back I want to get to.
Sony Michel, maybe.
No. Did you have something you wanted to say about Sony Michel?
Yeah. Well, I was going to talk about the fact that Chubb bench pressed. He had 29 bench press reps, which tied him for first with Saquon Barkley, the all-everything running back out of Penn State. And Sony Michel, his college teammate, had 22 bench press reps. So, good start for both those guys. I think Clowney didn't have a lot of bench press reps.
Well,
so that's amazing for a running back.
Since you brought up Barkley, he actually says he's down to go to Cleveland. Like, do you think that's a good spot for him at 1 or 4?
I think he's better. He's way better than Trent Richardson was. So no, like they have that same type of run power.
Just like how I don't like drafting linebackers in the top 10 anymore.
I don't like Alabama linebackers anymore. By the way, Bo Scarborough, everybody who raved over him, the Alabama running back, he only had 14.
And wait, aren't you concerned about? See, the whole thing about taking a running back is usage, like especially that
it's a passing league though.
Is how much more punishment can he take? Because everyone has that number of like how many hits you can take before you start declining. It's just we don't know what that number is, and we don't know how close someone is to it.
Yeah, but I mean, I feel like that Penn State running back bust curse is over. I think it ended with Larry Johnson. And people just gloss over the fact that Larry Johnson was like an all-pro running back at one point.
Here we go on his Larry Johnson crusade.
Bro, Larry Johnson was a beast for the Chiefs. He was like one of the he made people forget about Priest Holmes.
He did.
Like, yeah, he had like 466 carries that one year. Like, he put that offense on his back. And I feel like when it comes to Saquon Barkley, who also had 29 bench press reps, is probably going to run a great 40. Penn State, he carried that offense. Trace McSorley through costly picks. That offensive line was trash. That offensive line was trash for Penn State, and they know it was trash. They can't even front like it wasn't. So he was catching the ball. He was doing everything. He was playing special. He was returning kicks and punts, damn near selling popcorn, everything. That dude, and he might have. The Giants might even like break their protocol and draft him. I wouldn't be shocked. So they've never had a running back this good since Tiki. Imagine you put him and you could just hand the ball off, and Odell Beckham Jr. and you got like Evan Ingram and Sterling Shepard.
Here's my whole thing. Here's my whole thing is when I look at drafting a running back, right? If I can get a guy who's as close to him in the second round, I do it. Especially if I'm a team like the Giants who is going to need a quarterback in the coming seasons. Like, bro, I'm not trying to tank again. I'm not trying to be in the top 5 again. I'm trying to get my quarterback down and then be in the middle rounds later and get a running back or get a key offensive lineman or whatever other team need that I need.
But Cleveland can get 2 franchise-changing players. Imagine they take Rosen.
And they still might mess it up.
Because they're Cleveland, but still. They haven't found – if they get their – I don't know if Hugh Jackson's the right coach. He's kind of a beta male. He's running that organization. But he is. I don't care. I don't care if he is from Inglewood. Still, like, the pieces are there. Their defense isn't that bad. Their offensive line is pretty good. Joe Thomas comes back from injury. Mitchell Short. Like, they have a good offensive line. They just need a quarterback and a running back and someone to properly scheme something up for those receivers. And Njoku's a great tight end option. He's young. He's developing. They have a
Bro,
nucleus
we're spending
there.
too much damn time on the Browns because...
No, I'm just talking about just draft position in general. Like,
no, but what I wanted to say is both the Browns and the Giants have already said they're open for trading business. So...
Okay, because you don't want to eliminate that possibility.
So what I'm saying is this proves my point in that, yeah, it might make sense for them to get Barkley, and he might be a game-changing running back, and he might be great for them. But they're clearly open for shop because they realize they can get a running back like that later in the draft.
Yeah,
and get some picks.
So like Buffalo or
But
Tennessee, I think.
but I think the point that you're trying to make is Barkley is probably the best prospect in this draft.
It's like if the Vikings traded down and didn't take Adrian Peterson. Yeah, they had Chester Taylor who rushed for 1,200 yards, but it wasn't the same. As soon as Adrian Peterson showed up, they're like, "Oh, that dude's better than Chester Taylor. You can go back to Baltimore, homie, or return punts and kicks. We don't need you."
I think the point is
Chester Taylor got a raw deal.
I think the point is at the top in this draft at least, it's very like middle oriented. Like it's a pretty deep draft, rounds 1 through 2, but like the top 10, there's not really a consensus there, especially at receiver, man. Like
They're role players at receiver. Like I'm surprised Christian Kirk out of Texas A&M was only 5'10". That shocked me.
like other than Ridley's considered the consensus number 1, but after that,
Amari Cooper.
After that, it's pretty much anyone's guess.
It's a
like,
deep receiver class.
Like
but
you got
they'll fit a role.
Exactly. You got the two Oregon State or Oklahoma State?
Oklahoma State, James Washington. You have Anthony Miller, who's going to be a dog in the league. That dude's a beast.
You
He
got
was like 0 stars.
Gallup from Colorado State.
DJ Moore out of Maryland. You got the SMU receiver Cameron Sutton.
So pretty much,
It's a deep.
it's a crapshoot. Like I've seen all those different guys ranked as high as 2. I've seen them ranked as low as like 15.
Last year,
And then you got Equanimous St. Brown. You got Cedric Wilson.
To speak on that, 2 things. Last year they had 58 receivers at the combine. That was a record. Because the year before they only had like 42 or 43. Last year was a really fast group overall. This year's one of the tallest groups of receivers.
Yeah. I saw that tweet
They're like
too.
6'3", 6'4".
They were all like 6'3" and 6'4".
I was like, damn.
Which is perfect for the Raiders because they need a possession guy. And really,
they passed on Martavius Bryant. Yeah, another reason why Reggie might get fired.
And really the Rams too, because the Rams could use a big possession receiver. Like, I feel like this is the draft that's going to bring the possession receiver back. Like, you're going to see some Keyshawn's and Musa Muhammad's back in the league.
Bro, shout out to Musa Muhammad.
Yeah, man.
All-time great.
Yeah, man. He was always the easiest bargain to get in Madden, like an 88 receiver.
Bro, I put him at tight end one year when he was a free agent. Oh, man. I killed with the Raiders that year in the Super Bowl. It wasn't even funny.
It was cool because he didn't have the same name recognition in fantasy drafts as
but he was a solid
Keyshawn Johnson,
receiver,
but you could get a solid position receiver.
and he blocked his ass off.
and
His block rating was stupid high.
Yeah, it really
His pass
was.
block rating was in the 50s. I was like, damn. Better than some of the tight ends on the team.
All right, so I know we talked a lot about running backs, but I didn't want to miss this point. I need to learn how to say his name.
I was going to say Chicago and running backs. Can I say it?
I mean, we could get to that later in the rapid fire.
All right, fair.
Gusay?
Derek Gweiss.
Gweiss?
Darius Gweiss. I should say Gweiss.
He basically said during his combine interviews that
no one said my name right. That's why I've run so angry.
That's a good point, but he compared himself to Marshawn Lynch.
He is.
Saying he runs with angerness, whatever that means.
Angerness.
Whatever that means. And he basically said teams should draft him because if not, he's going to make it regret it. Make them regret it.
He will. He made LSU forget about Leonard Fournette. Think about how hard that is to do. Fournette's a grown man.
So what? And
this dude's probably faster, clearly faster than Fournette.
They're saying he could have hit a 4.3. I saw it somewhere, but I don't think so.
I put nothing past LSU skill players. He might. There's always that one LSU running back.
Where would you like to see him play? Where does he fit?
Shit, anywhere you want.
Pause.
Yeah, pause. I had to say pause. If he falls to Houston, that would be dope. Because Lamar Miller's kind of on his way out. Imagine him. That'll actually make that Houston offensive line look better. Deshaun Watson in the backfield.
Didn't they just take someone in the middle rounds last year?
They took a Foreman.
My boy.
Deontay Foreman.
Who was actually solid, who you actually hated on all last offseason?
No, he had a rough start to the season.
Because you hated on 2,000 yards?
No, bro. I didn't hate on him. I was like, if he runs a 4.4, I believe it. And he ran a 4.4, like a legit 4.4. I was like, all right, he's not a joke anymore. But
I think you're the only one who thought he was a joke.
no, I was like, I don't know, I don't trust his game speed. And then I saw it, I was like, oh, okay.